All right, so I just want to walk through a few of the problems on Hawks. So a lot of these are just from section 9.1, where you're just simplifying the radical. Like something like the square root of 49, that's just going to be 7. 7 squared is 49. Let's kind of skip through till we find something a little bit strange. Something like the square root of 16 over 81. You do the square root of the top over the square root of the bottom. And here, to use your calculator to find the value of this expression, what we actually want you to do is to plug it into the calculator and get a decimal approximation. So for this one, if I type in 3 plus 7 times the square root of 3, just like so, hit enter, it's going to give me a decimal with a whole bunch of digits after the decimal place. So if I need to round it to 4 decimal places, what I have here is after the decimal, it's 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. So the 5 knocks the 3 up to a 4. So it should be 1, 2, 4, 4. So it'll be, what is that? 15. 15.1244. Okay. We'll look at a couple more problems. So here, same thing. You can use your calculator for this. If you know what the cube root of 343 is, great. If not, you can use your calculator. There's a couple different ways to do that. The first is if you have one of these graphing calculators, you can use the number 343, put it in parentheses there, okay? And what we'll do is we'll raise it to the power 1 over the index. So I use this caret button, raise it to the power, and then in parentheses, 1 over 3. So it's like the cube root of 343 is the same thing as 343 raised to the 1 over 3 power. So it's going to be 7. All right. We're going to continue on looking at these numbers. Notice you might have some square roots with a negative number underneath. We saw some examples in the previous videos where we had the cube root of a negative number, and then that negative number, or that negative kind of popped out front. But that doesn't work with even roots of negative numbers. So you think to yourself, like, what number squared gives me negative 64? Well, 8 squared is positive 64. Also, negative 8 times negative 8 is a positive 64. So there is no real number whose square will be negative, okay? So therefore, whenever you see the square root or an even index root of a negative number, that's going to be not a real number. We'll discuss complex numbers in a different section. Let's go through a couple more problems. Here, we're just looking to plug these into the calculator and find a decimal. You're going to round those decimals to 4 places or however many places. Okay, this is a sample of your 9.1 homework.